What's going on, college football fans? It's your boy Coach I, and we here for another episode of the Saturday Night Snap Count, man. A lot of stuff to talk about today, man. Hey, it's some teams out here. Dreams are getting dashed as we speak. Some teams that stayed alive by the skin of their teeth. I guess that's what we would say. So we're gonna talk about it, man. So let's get into it, dog.
No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call.
What's up, college football fans? Again, this is the Saturday Night Snap Count, man. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, man. We talk college football every Saturday at 10:30 p.m. on the Saturday Night Snap Count, and we invite other creators on, man, to give their opinion. And sometimes, I think tonight we're going to have some of the fans of those teams try to call in, man. Also, we give previews on the channel. We talk, we got our own top 25 poll that we release every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Also have a basketball show. It's just all kind of stuff for sports fans. So, man, go ahead and tap in with us and do the doggone thing, man. Also, Saturday Night Snap Count is brought to you by SeatGeek. Hey, man, promo code FANATTICSPORTS. SeatGeek is a ticketing site that gives you, they give you scores on where the third party tickets are being sold from. 0 means is don't touch it. 10 means go ahead and get it. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase if you use my code FANATTICSPORTS. It'll be in the link in the description as well, man. Hey, man, it's time. Let's jump on this thing, man. Hey, we just had one finish. Let's stay in the SEC West, man. SEC West, Auburn and Ole Miss just finished up. Let's see. At least they're going on right now. I think it'll finish at this score. Ole Miss, Auburn, 28-21. Man. Listen, Ole Miss stayed alive or staying alive, regardless of what the score is, whether or not they put another touchdown up or not. Ole Miss is only one loss, and that one loss is to Alabama, man. So Ole Miss stays alive in the West. Auburn put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, man, Auburn just don't have enough pieces. They don't even know who they want the quarterback to be. Some days it's Peyton Thorne, some days it's Robbie Ashford. The defense is pretty reliable, but the offense, you just never know what you're gonna get, man. Let's say what's up to some of the people in the chat. All right, my guy Maurice Dickinson say, Coach, how about them Dogs? Yeah, man. Hey, how about them Dogs, man? Undefeated. Hey, we beat the bye week, Maurice. So hopefully we're getting healthy in Athens, man. Getting ready for the Florida Gators next week. They are off as well. That'll look good. I mean, especially with the injury to Brock Bowers here. Recently, we're going to need a lot of Dogs to step up to fill in what he can actually bring to the table. My guy Mars Jan, what's up, Mars? Say Boomer, let's go. That's right. Oklahoma did get the win. We will talk about that a little bit later on. Mike Wilkerson said, Coach, how these doggone Sooners are going to cause me to go in the 12-step program. Listen, it was touch and go there for a while. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I did not see that coming. UCF and I want to say Cincinnati and Houston, those are like the bottom dwellers in the Big 12, man. And I really didn't see this in Oklahoma. But hey, again, you guys got to win, and we'll get more into it later on. My guy Steve B, what's up, Steve B? Steve B said, what's up, everybody? Hey, Steve B said he agreed with Mike, man. He started drinking. I know, Steve, they wouldn't even let you wait till the final clock hit 00, would they? You know what I'm saying? All right, we got a guy in here. Hey, Jason, Hall of Fame college football. What's going on, Jason?
What's up, man? Talking everybody off the ledge today.
Yeah, man. You know, some of the guys in here, they about to go Alcoholics Anonymous up in here on us. But we'll get to that, man. We'll get to them, man. Texas later on. I was just briefly talking about Auburn, Ole Miss, man. It started out as a good game. Ole Miss kind of pulled away
Yeah.
Man, Ole Miss be finding these running backs, don't they, man? Last year they got Judkins, but then last year they had Evans, and then this year they got Bentley, man. And these dudes got a combo out there. You know what I'm saying? They still only got one loss.
Yeah, listen, they still got a shot at it, and a little while ago it was really starting to look like Alabama was going to put them in the lead. So
for sure,
or at least a tie for it. So hey, listen, what a day, and Lane, he's going to get it done on the offensive side of the ball, but it looks like they're even playing a little bit of defense too. So I don't know, man. I think I think there's a lot of football still to be played. I don't think that this thing is over with yet, for sure.
Oh, for sure, man. Shout out to my guy Priest Perry. He said Dogs on top, ring the bell. That's right. That's right. The Dogs still undefeated. Hey, listen, we beat the bye week, baby. Hopefully we're getting a little healthy in Athens. So I was saying earlier, man, we need to get healthy with the injury to Brock Bowers coming up. My guy Chris Walton, C-Walt, what's up, man? C-Walt is going to join us by call-in later on. Once the Clemson game is over. He is a Clemson fan who knows a lot about the team and a lot about football, man. Also, he will be jumping into this YouTube thing towards the end of the year too, man. Seawald will be making some appearances on the Fanatic Sports to try to help get his name out there, man. Very cool. He's gonna jump in here with us later on, man. We'll get into that Clemson game in a minute. Say Jason, all the Mafia wiped our feet. That's right. We appreciate you, Mike. We appreciate you, man. He said Bama won him $200 today. Hey, drinks on Mike. People, drinks are on Mike.
Right? That's why he was throwing super chats around earlier.
Yeah. Hey, my guy Shawty in the building. What's going on, Shawty?
Big Shawty.
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Hey, man, just getting started, man. We was talking about that Auburn Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss stays alive in the West.
It's a lot of folks just hanging on today.
Hey, we're gonna get into it. That's right. We're going through just saying what's up to some of the people, man. Some of the OU fans, man, they on the ledge tonight. We might have to talk them off the ledge.
Shout out to the professor from he's from High Top Sports, man. That's my boy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to John Russell. What's going on, John? John said wipe your feet. That's right, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for your boy. Get these this video out to more people, man. My guy Priest say, oh yeah, for sure, Priest. Hey, homecoming. I am stopping by. Just know that I am stopping by. My guy Stephen G is in the building. What's going on, Stephen G? The professor in the building, man. What's going on, Professor? We're glad you taking some time out here, man. That's what I'm talking about. Stephen G, this is the kind of fans we like, man. Stephen G wiped his feet on both streams, man. Hey, we appreciate that, man. As content creators, that's like one of the biggest things you can do, man, is hit that like button to help us get it out there. Hey, Mike Wilkinson say, my man Shawty, listen, Mike Wilkinson Shawty say the Sooners gonna have him go into a 12-step program.
Hey, everybody else, man.
Hey, he did say
if you're watching Twitter, you think that they lost by 21 today.
Yeah. So he said Bama did win him $200 though. So hey, shout out to Mike for winning the money. Hey man, we about to jump in here and talk about another SEC game, man. Mizzou and South Carolina. Mizzou won 34-24. We got us a call in from my guy, the stat guy. Oh, he just dropped off, so he'll come back in. But Shawty, did you catch the Mizzou South Carolina game, dog?
Man, I did not, man. My goddaughter had a little equestrian event today, so I've been around horses all day. I was just trying to, do what I can with my phone. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Jason, you watched this game?
No, not much of it. I was kind of peeking in on it, but I was more kicking through a lot of that. Man,
yeah.
Mizzou,
listen, man.
Carolina, bro, I'm sorry, but
listen, Mizzou jumped out 24-3. Listen, Mizzou jumped off 24-3, and then South Carolina, kind of came back. Let's get Stat guy in here, man. Stat, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
USC just got a pick, took it to the house.
Oh, okay. What's going on, man? Hey, listen, man. It was a tough day for them Gamecocks, man.
Hey, we almost won the second half.
Yeah, if you could only play one half, you'd be good to go, right?
Look, hey man, they came out, they punched us in the mouth. I'll be honest, we got the 3 and out to start the game, And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is what we wanted. I figured there'd be like 2 or 3 stops total the entire game. I wasn't really high on their defense. And then, man, we immediately go 3 and out, and then they're off to the races.
Man, listen, man, y'all got to figure out something, man. Spencer's getting killed back there, dog. It's like he don't even have time to think.
A bad situation made worse. Our starting left tackle, the freshman, left with a knee injury in the 4th quarter. We've had
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what's the feelings? Y'all 2-6, right?
2-5.
2-5. What's the feeling from the Gamecock Nation out there in the Gamecock world, man?
Beat Clemson.
It's like the heck with the rest of the games, huh? As long as you can beat Clemson.
I mean, it's already, we're fighting now for 6-6. 6-6 is still on the table. I mean, make that happen, but beat Clemson.
Beat Clemson. There it is. Shawty, coming into the season this summer, man. When we was talking about who you possibly see could come in second or third or something in the East, man. You said watch out. You didn't pick them, but you said watch out for the Gamecocks, man. How you feeling about them now? What's the problem, though? What's the problem in Columbia, though?
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me, coach.
Yeah.
Some reason I started drinking the same kind of juice as folks in South Carolina drink. Because I was thinking that, because I already asked, I don't think he's the guy. But I thought he did build up some momentum.
Yeah.
With the last 5-6 games this season. He had a pretty good recruiting class.
Yeah.
So I just figured, if they could, build off that momentum and bring in that recruiting class. You had 4 or 5 of those guys beat the Pac players. I thought they might have had a shot at being second in the East, but Beamer gonna Beamer, I guess.
I just felt like they lost too much on that offensive line. They do have some help coming, supposedly, but it's still going to take them probably a year or so to get. They got like a 5-man offensive line that's really big, supposed to be really good, but it's still going to take them a year or so. And then it's not going to help that OU in Texas is coming into the league. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but the good thing is they don't have to play any of the top dogs we won't have East and West next year, but they won't have to play Tennessee, Florida, or Georgia. Problem is they go to Oklahoma, they go to Alabama. Go to LSU, and then they play. I want to say they play Alabama at home or something, right? Stat.
We're at Bama, at LSU, at Oklahoma, and then A&M at the house next year. But hey, real quick, man, let me speak on this comment that you posted. Hey, look, there's a lot wrong at the University of South Carolina when it comes to football. What we won't do is blame any of it on Spencer Rattler. Today was his worst game he's had all.
Second that for you, bro. I got to second that one for you, man. As much as I'm not a fan of Spencer Rattler, I will second that.
Not this year, yeah. This season, outside of today, Spencer Rattler has actually been playing pretty good. He ain't got no time.
Maybe the coach needs to quit breaking his foot. He doesn't coach quite as well on one wheel.
So we've seen Juice for all of one play this year, which was the touchdown against Georgia. Xavier Legette went down today, and it didn't look good. He's probably going to be out a couple weeks. Like, I'm just like, man, we just can't get healthy. And we're a middle of the road football team, and everybody deals with injuries. Georgia's dealing with injuries. The only difference is we already didn't have depth, and at best we were a middle of the road football team. And so now it's showing.
I'm hurt too.
No, he played today.
He played today. Look, man.
Is he contributing?
Yeah, I mean, he had a 35-yard catch today. He's getting about a catch every game the last couple weeks. The thing is, he's a tweener. He played a little bit. He played defensive end, and he played a little bit of tight end in high school. He's having to learn the position. And Coach made a good statement when we were talking this afternoon. Is he has great top end speed when it comes to track and run the 100, but as far as getting off the line and getting into routes, he doesn't have speed like that. He's not fluid. Now, if he can get 35 yards downfield, he's got the size. I recall
saying something like that to you like a long time. But did I say something like that, Coach?
Yeah. We were saying that's the same thing. Yeah, Jeff. But that's the thing, Jeff. Jeff actually, he agreed. He is kind of hoping for a unsuccessful track season, so he'll come to his senses and move to the defensive side of the ball. Wallace, my guy, Wallace, what's up, Wallace? Man, Wallace said, I don't know if y'all going 6-6 when y'all left tackle just got injured. I mean, to an already bad offensive line, stat guy said it too early when we were talking off camera, man. Like, it's just go from bad to worse down there in Columbia. All right, we had a question for you, Stat. Stephen G said, can you tell them about how it's like facing Luther Burden?
Hey, that dude's legit. I mean, it's like now, not for not, our secondary got absolutely torched against Florida, which scared the daylights out of me going into this game. But I mean, on that second drive, 1-on-1 with the safety over the top, and he just ran a straight deep post and was 3 yards behind both of them when the ball dropped in his hands. I mean, that kid's just electric, and he took a shot today and kind of got banged up and missed a couple plays here and there, and maybe that helped us stay in it a little bit. But there's not a doubt in my mind that he might be one of the best college football wide receivers, especially only being a sophomore. That kid is legit.
Yeah, he actually is first team wide receiver mid-season AP All-American. Him and Malik Neighbors from LSU. So shout out to Stat for jumping in, man. We appreciate you, Stat, man, for talking about the Gamecocks, man. We'll let you run, man, and watch some more. Hopefully, Miami can pull a miracle and come back and make your night better.
That thing's a wrap too, man. It's a done for me as a college football fan. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride, and hopefully South Carolina gives me some highlights and something to cheer for the way out. We'll see y'all later.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
See you later, bro.
All right, man. Oh, man. Listen, Stat, listen. They start, like you said, they had a lot of juice going or whatever. But you got to have them Jimmys and Joes healthy, and you got to have an offensive line at the end of the day, man. So let's jump to this Bama-Tennessee game, Shouty. I know you was at the Crescent. That was one of the earlier games too, man. Jason, did you watch Bama-Tennessee?
I did. What a game. Right.
Listen, Tennessee starts out 20-7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alabama just rolled off 27 straight. And I'm going to tell you when I think the game turned, y'all. Tennessee's up 20-7. They get it on it's like 4th down, 4th and 1 on one, like their 49. And they go for it. I'm like, punt the ball away. You've been stopping them all game. They don't get it. Give Bama a short field. And from there, it's just like Bama just gained momentum.
Now, Cole, that was a big momentum change. Now I was watching horses. I had that one on my phone. I was watching that.
So what you think?
I will say you on the road.
When you think it changed? When you think it changed?
Well, I know. I think that was a very pivotal. I definitely think the momentum shift. But I'm gonna go a little bit before then. I'm gonna say you on the road.
Yeah.
Playing Alabama. Why are you kicking field? That's a time when you got to go for it.
When you inside field goal range. That's what you're saying.
When they was they was like only 12. They kicked it 2 times inside the 15.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Got 6 points.
Yeah.
Man, you on the road. You playing Alabama, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, Jason, what you say? Like I say, I'm with you. Like when you're inside the 20, 15, 10, if it's 4th and 1 and you're on the road, you got the lead. I'm saying go for it.
Get the points.
But
out of the game like that.
See, listen, I just think it depends. Like a couple of times I felt like they should have did it.
When you're up 27,
when you're up 27, you at midfield, you punt that ball. You don't go for it.
For sure.
You don't punt that ball. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't go for it. You punt. You get that.
Yeah, you play the field position game because that's the game that you play anyway all year, and all of a sudden you're going to change things up when you get to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, for sure. Now inside the 15,
that's what I'm talking about. You got to go for point on the road playing a team like that. 3-point kicking field goal ain't gonna win. That was evident.
But this is the thing. At the beginning of the game, like the first half, Alabama couldn't even really move the ball on them for the most part of the first half.
Coach, you played 4th quarter.
That's true. So I'm taking that. That's what I'm saying. Why not take all the points you can get? Like, you know what I'm saying?
3 and 3. Listen, you in the red zone that many times. One of those drives you got to get.
You got to get 7.
I'm just saying, you got to play a little on the road when you're playing a big team like that. You have to play more aggressive. You got to.
And then the defense was actually playing good. Like Wallace said, what happened to the defense in the second half, bro? Like Alabama started running the ball on them. Like
that's right.
like that. Like I want to say at one point, Alabama had like negative 11 yards rushing. You know, when you figured in the sacks and stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's like they couldn't stop Jason McClellan. They couldn't stop Milroe. They couldn't stop the other guy, bruh.
And when that depth and the athletes started taking them, you know what I'm saying, getting worn down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Timothy Green said, just subscribe. We appreciate you, Timothy, man. Hey, like I say, man, we appreciate everything y'all can do for us, man. Try to bring y'all that good content. Well, Alabama stays alive as the number 1 in the West. So, you know, they took the loss to Texas, but they haven't lost the SEC game yet. Do they look better to you, though, after today's game, Jason?
Who is that again? I'm sorry, Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I mean, they seem to – every week they seem to know who they are a little more, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing that when it comes to these guys, and when you've got a new coordinator in there running, you know, trying to learn a different system than what he's used to, he's been kind of feeling his way around. I think Jalen Milroe, obviously his first year as a starter, he's feeling his way around.
Yeah.
I think that if you're gonna, I mean, you needed to probably pull off one of these ones that they've been close in to get them out of contention, because by the end of the year they may turn into a monster that you don't want to deal with at all.
Okay, Shawty, any improved thoughts on Bama, or same as what you thought going into the day?
Yeah, the thing that that kind of caught me off guard is to me they are who I thought they were, but I'm seeing some deficiencies.
Okay.
I really am. So that's starting to alarm me. I'm starting to see that week after week. That's kind of alarming. But other than that, kind of like what Jason said, I think they're really kind of starting to find their way on offense. I think they need to run the ball just a little bit more. And just incorporate. If I were them, I would go more RPO, even more heavy, and then maybe take deep shots. My intermediate game would be either here or there. I'm gonna be boom or bust all.
Yeah, Steve B say Alabama dominated second half. That's right. I felt like going into this game, these teams was basically the same team. Good on defense, try to run the ball. They got a quarterback who can throw it a mile, but not good intermediate. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a mirror image of themselves. I think Jalen Milroe's a slightly better athlete than Milton, but at the end of the day,
he made better decisions.
He definitely made better decisions than Milton today. So who knows? Maybe if this game is in maybe if this game is in Knoxville, maybe it goes different. I don't know. The Alabama crowd was definitely into the game today. A lot of times, Alabama, for them being so good, they crowd don't be in it like that. All right, man, we're gonna move out of the SEC, man, and let's move into the Big 12 and talk about West Virginia, O State. We're gonna bring in Cody Stovall, all day O State. What's going on, man?
Look at that.
Hey, fellas. Life is good in the LBC and also Stilly.
Listen, shout out to the Cowboys for traveling across the country, man. Listen, I always think that's a hard thing to do when y'all have to go to West Virginia because it's such a long time in any Big 12 team. And y'all came out and jumped on them and stayed on them.
Well, you know what, man? The last couple of weeks, you've seen the offensive scripting kind of come into play. This is the first time this year that the scripting was pretty good. And then after the scripting, it wasn't a massive drop-off. I mean, it kind of helps whenever you have a running back take the team on his shoulders and rush for like 530 yards in the last few games.
He looked good.
That helps.
He looked good.
But yeah, man, Alan Bowman did enough, right? He didn't have to do anything spectacular. He just kind of had to do the whole game manager role. But at times, he did actually drop some dimes. The offensive lines looked pretty good. And Bucky's is a sham of organization.
Shout out to Buc-ee's. Shout out to Buc-ee's. Don't start that shit.
Hey, that's right. That's right. I'm following along with Jason. I'm trying to get a sponsorship from Buc-ee's too. Shout out to Buc-ee's. Hey, so during the game, man, I'm watching the game and OSU is looking good. And I started thinking about what Cody told us about Gundy finally going, basically being in the building. And it leaves the question, if he's in the building at the beginning of the season, what you guys could actually look like, Cody. What you think?
100%, man. Right. The whole objective to him rotating, 73,000 people, it works in theory. If the theory is I'm going to play all these dudes so nobody transfers, but when it has an unintended consequences of starting to fracture the locker room, you have to do something. And you got to give credit where credit's due. It seems to be too late, right? That's my frustration as a diehard Oklahoma State fan is it shouldn't have taken a loss to South Alabama and then followed up by another loss in Ames, Iowa to Iowa State before you got your crap together. It's not like we didn't look at all this stuff last season, right? Yeah. This is the same stuff that was happening last season. The difference is Gundy decided to put his big boy panties on, strap up his boots, and get back on the field. And you're seeing it not only come together, but I think that this is not really the culmination. I don't want to go that far yet, but the buy-in, it starts with the players, right? Yeah. But when the players start seeing the coaches stay late, when they start seeing the coaches' lights on at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, they do what? They do more work on the iPad. They put more film time in. It becomes infectious. And I do think that the players have noticed Gundy buying in more. And you're starting to see the locker room kind of gel at a pretty remarkable time. Yeah.
Jason, did you catch any of this game today?
I've been watching it. Yeah, I've been watching and keeping up with it. Yeah,
what'd you think about today's performance? I thought they looked pretty good today.
They're pretty good.
I think West Virginia's a good team.
They've looked different since Gundy showed back up. Since he got off his back porch from frog gigging. Yeah. They've been looking better. So, look, man, and I told Cody this last week. I kind of had to eat a little crow on it. They've handled their business since the South Alabama, since the Iowa State game, I should say. But even in that game, they appeared to, it was a game that you didn't expect. You expected, low scoring, and they kind of went toe for toe, shot for shot with them until the end. So
we showed a sign of life at least at Iowa State.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Iowa State's now a half-assed legitimate football team. So,
and not for nothing, man. O State is only 2 losses. One of those is out of conference. Right? Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah.
So just one loss. So hey, still in it, Shawty. O State still in it, dog. Numerically, they still in it.
Mathematically, a lot of teams still in the air with.
That's right. So Stephen G say, Jason, all the Okie fans will be drinking. We have a chance for Bedlam. All right, realistically, Cody, I was about to say, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a little bit of ways. It's a little bit of ways, What? Hey, how you feeling about
what's
Bedlam?
The schedule looking like?
Well, I mean, that's the beauty. Shouty just got right to it. We have Cincinnati coming in for homecoming this week, right? Yeah. The Big 12's crazy, but we should beat Cincinnati. There then sets up a likely top 25 matchup with Oklahoma State and OU for Bedlam. It's the last Bedlam for the next decade. If I were to say that we're going to win right now, that obviously would be jumping too much into the Kool-Aid. But just look at the national landscape of football. Upsets are happening all over the place. So when you factor in the excitement level, the fact that it is a rivalry, and then you're looking at a potentially undefeated OU against 7-2 Oklahoma State squad, that's a ball game.
That is. Hey, like you say, anything can happen in that game. Where is that game this year?
It's in
Might
Philly.
I jump in here for a second?
Yes, sir.
I think that Cody should be hoping that the game is not a top 25 matchup that matters, because that's when they gag the most.
Like I said, man, it's be careful what you ask for. But I'm not your traditional OU hater in that regard. Like, I prefer them be. I want OU to be top 4, undefeated.
Looks better for you. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, and I get it, right? The chances of us winning it every year, it's like 10%. No matter how good we are, no matter how bad we are, the chances of us winning Bedlam is like 10%.
Got a mediocre head coach, man. Mediocre
I
head coach.
want that 10% to be as big as physically possible.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I'll tell you this: if O State wins next week against Cincinnati, that just makes the game that much more desirable to watch. You know, as an outsider that has no skin in the game, I want to see both teams at their top. You know, I want to see them all both healthy. I want to see, you know what I'm saying, both of them coming in, caring about the season. Because, you know, sometimes when you have those games where the team is just playing spoiler, that's all. Like, you know, at this point, if Oklahoma State wins next week, Oklahoma wins next week, then the Big 12 is on, you know, it's still on the line. So it means more. And it's like, you know, put all your cards on the table. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like it. So, listen, Ian says, what's going on, Ian? Says, checking in from Australia during the halftime break of the AFL women's game. We appreciate you joining, Ian.
That's awesome,
all the way from Australia, man. Different time. What time is it there, Ian? I know Europe time, but I don't know Australia time. Let us know what time that is, man. But shout out to Old State for the win, man. I'm be honest with you.
Tomorrow already there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
By a lot.
Like I say, going into West Virginia, man, getting this win by double digits, nonetheless. That's dope.
Well, and then you talk about, you know, the prospect of Bedlam being worth something. Another thing to take into consideration, it's all about dollar bills, it's all about viewership, it's all about marketing, right?
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is firmly supplanted in the top 3 of the Heisman, right? It's not even debatable, right?
Yeah.
What Ollie Gordon's done for the last 3 weeks, Ollie Gordon's got to be top 10 on Heisman now. He has to be.
So listen,
that's over 500 yards of total offense in the last 2 games by one dude.
That's crazy. So they just flashed this on ESPN. So we talked about this. This goes to the Big 12 race. You know, if OU beats Oklahoma State and goes undefeated, we talked about if everybody goes undefeated, who is gonna make it in. The ESPN predictor says the Big 10 winner is in 100%. That was the percentage. It says percentage.
Yeah.
It said OU, if undefeated, 100% in the playoffs. And it said Georgia 86%, and it said Washington 71%. And said Florida State like it was in the 60s or something like that. So it looked like if they go by those percentages, like we talked about the other night, if everybody goes undefeated as far as conference champions, and like again, OU and Georgia are the only, and Washington are the only 2 undefeated, only 3 undefeated that, well, Florida State, I guess, everybody but yeah. So those are the only teams because North Carolina lost today. So.
Fellas, everybody got a conference that's that person is undefeated, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Cody.
I'm afraid. I don't know, man. I'm afraid that the days of people going undefeated are pretty much over. This transfer NIL market has just leveled the playing field. Everybody's 22 guys, for the most part now, is pretty competitive. Now, the depth after that, that's a different conversation. But I don't see anybody going undefeated in any league anymore because nowadays every conference's number 6, 7 team can beat number 1. They just in almost every conference.
There's a part of me that agrees with that, but there's a part of me that also says that depends on coaching, right? That's where you know where you have a good coach or not, where you have an elite coach versus a good coach versus a trash coach. Because
let's get a little bit more data. Get a little bit more data first. We just got the NIL. We don't really know how it's going to really affect.
I agree with that. I think that this year is trending in that direction. I think that it's wide open this year. I really do. But is this just an aberration? Moving forward, we don't know that. But I would tell you is in a year like this is where cream is going to rise to the top as far as coaching is concerned. You're looking at USC right now; they're losing and they've given up more. They've given up more to Utah than Utah's gotten all year.
Big
you know,
facts.
and I mean, and everybody loves Lincoln for, you know, and I'm not, you know, I'm not just gonna sit here and bash on Lincoln, even though I could.
Yeah.
Yes,
We got a lot
yes,
of
you
games.
are.
I know we not. We got a lot
Yeah.
of games. We got a lot of games to get to. We got a lot of games to get to.
But what I'm saying is that these elite coaches are going to separate themselves in this time of, because it is going to spread out the players a little bit more because they have the ability to leave and go start somewhere else.
I agree with that sentiment with the spreading of talent. I do think coaching is going to be more important than ever before. Whereas, you know, some schools could have 3 deep, you know, 4 and 5 star type talent. Now, some of that, you know, that third string is saying, I want to play, and they're going somewhere else. And it's spreading the talent out just a little bit more than it used to be, man. Ian says it's 2 p.m. Sunday in Australia. Appreciate that, Ian. God, but y'all are low way ahead of us, though. So, yeah, Seth says, what's going on, Seth? Seth says West Virginia ain't been the same, ain't been the same since Rich Rod. I agree. Rich Rod had that offense rolling. So
Pat White and Steve Slayton.
Holy crap.
Mike Wilkinson said, hey, Cody, if OSU plays USC in a bowl game, as bad as I hate to do it, I don some OSU apparel for the game. Y'all really do just like Lincoln and USC if you can wear your rival stuff, dog.
Never.
All right.
Not me, man.
Steph says Utah about to beat USC up 5 with 2 minutes. Who has the ball? If anybody has that game on.
It's on commercial right now.
I think that
talking about the USC game.
Utah had it a second ago, and they're still gassing.
It's 31-26. If they win the commercial.
Okay, who had the ball? Do y'all know?
It's just coming out of commercial right now.
I got you. Marty, his team is West Virginia. Oh, and he broke his foot. Woo! That's a rough night for Marty, man. Tell Marty send us.
Utah still got the ball. It's 3rd and 4. They picked this up.
Sending our feelings out to Marty, man. Marty got a broke foot and his team lost. Not a good Saturday for Marty. All right, man. Let's get on to the next game, man.
Like Florida State pulled it out.
I was trying to wait on our guy Zach, Razorback Zach, man, and maybe he can come in and talk about it a little bit. I'll give him a little bit more time because I want to talk about the Arkansas, Ohio State, Penn State. Shouty, that had to be a game you had up on the phone while you was watching the horses, dog. Give me your thoughts, dog. Man. Give me your thoughts. Listen, Franklin. Now, I will say they made mention that the core of Penn State's team are all true sophomores.
Yo, I'm on here.
Give me your thoughts, Shawty. Hey, man, Ohio State defense look good. For the most part, Penn State defense look good, but Penn State offense, it looks antiquated. I ain't gonna lie to you.
This man, I keep saying I'm a big fan of this right here. Until you do it, you ain't done.
Why would you kick to this guy?
And that's what he has not done. Man.
Yeah.
He just can't win the big game. Whatever excuse you want to use, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, for the most part, you know, I like their physicality, but I was more impressed with Ohio State. But these guys supposed to be more physical, best 2 running back. Yep. And I didn't see, I just didn't see.
Well, I saw
it was all smoke and mirror.
Ohio State was without Denzel Burke. Their I think it's Denzel Burke, their DB, their best DB, one of the best in the nation. It was without Travion Henderson. They're actually number 1 running back. And they was without like one other guy. Emeka Ibuka. I'm like, and Penn State still couldn't get it done. Jason, you watched this game? Ohio State, Penn State?
I was watching it. Yeah, it's more of the same. More of the same. You know, you're gonna go in there and put up 12.
Bruh. Cody, you catch this game?
I did. Yeah, that was a battle of former Oklahoma State coordinators, and Jim Knowles for Ohio State's defense, and Mike Yursich was Penn State's OC. So, yeah, we had a little bit of a vested interest seeing a couple of our old coordinators go toe-to-toe there.
So the OC for Penn State, the one that used to be at Oklahoma State, did he call plays the same way at Oklahoma State? Because today it looked like he didn't want to take a shot past 10 yards.
No, it was actually quite the opposite at Oklahoma State. We had the propensity to throw it way too often deep.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm watching the game. I'm like, either they don't trust the quarterback or their OC is just like, hey man, I left the playbook on the bus. I'm just gonna run it, and I'm gonna throw slants all day. Like
there.
that's how you
Ohio
know.
State quarterback.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna win them no game, bro.
No,
He
he's
may
not.
not lose it, but he ain't gonna win them no game.
I say he's not CJ Stroud, man. It's just that their defense was able to hold Penn State a lot more than Penn State was able to hold Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so me and Cody talked about Gundy getting it done when it's time to move on. Same goes with Penn State. Is it time to move on from Franklin?
Never on the schedule.
No.
It's been a decade, right?
I mean,
it's been a decade, and
More
he's
than a
won.
decade, yeah.
How many has he won? One?
No, yeah,
Big Ten title.
he won one. He won one.
Yeah,
He
one.
won
And he's
one.
1-9. 1-9 against.
Put you on a 2 and 20-year pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mike Gundy. Like,
Dude, I knew you were gonna say some. I knew it. I almost beat you.
it's
to the
actually
punch,
behind
dude.
it. It's actually behind it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I don't know. Like, it's not like Penn State's in a position where they can't get somebody. I think Franklin's a pretty good coach.
Absolutely.
They're Penn State.
Penn
They
State
are
can
Penn
empty the
State.
bag and go get one of the. There's a lot of really good coaches in like Texas State coach GJ Kinney. I think he's a savant, right? I love what Jeff Traylor's been able to do at UTSA. I'm a big fan of Willie Fritz and what he's been able to do.
USC scored.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they flashed. They flashed.
Zechariah Branch, man. Why?
So they flashed this during the Penn State Ohio State game. He's 4-15 versus Michigan and Ohio State. He's 3-16 versus the top 10, and he's 1-11 versus top 5 opponents. That's saying that if you favored to win for the most part against the lower teams, you can win. But when it comes to the big game and the big teams, you cannot win. And at some point, what we doing? You know,
well,
at some
I think
point,
Jason was making jokes like about being reminiscent of Oklahoma State, but I mean, he's not entirely wrong, right? Mike Gundy wins a lot of ball games.
I never joke, bro. I always speak truth.
He doesn't always seem to find a way to win the ones that matter. And I
Just
think
being the team you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's it.
Look, that's the point. And that's, I have said it about Gundy, is that it's one thing to beat the teams that are less talented than you. You should beat them,
Yeah.
You have recruiting budgets that they don't have. You have, you have better talent. You're just better. But I'm not going to sit here and think that I don't think that Ryan Day's the best coach in the country. I don't think he's kind of close. I really don't.
No.
I think the dude has gotten away with a bad Big Ten and a bad Michigan up until the last couple of years. And I think that's, and he took over a freaking monster team.
Well,
and
speaking of Michigan, Coach, have y'all talked about Michigan yet?
No, we about to. So
if you can't beat him, is what I was saying. If you can't beat Ryan Day, you're not going to beat Harbaugh because he's better than Day.
That's true. Seth said if PSU wants to move up, then Franklin ain't the dude. He said Franklin is the Gundy of the Big Ten. It's not a bad comparison. I mean, not just Gundy. I mean, we want to. I mean, we're gonna pile on Cody. Hey, Mark Richt. Mark Richt. I mean, now granted, Mark Richt did win more conference championships and make it to some BCS bowls, but at the end of the day, he didn't accomplish the goals that we wanted him to accomplish in the big times. Morris says PSU looked average in some key areas. Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. They definitely look average on offense today. And like shout out to the Buckeye defense, because a lot of that was because of them. But I just watched the play call. That's why I asked Cody about the guy. I mean, today I felt like one of the keys I said when I did the preview is you can't go in coaching not to lose. You got to go in and coach to win. And today he's for sure coached not to lose. Like I'm watching this. I'm like, bro, we back in the early 2000s. This dude is throwing slants and out routes, and that's it. Stop routes. He's like took like 2 shots the whole game,
bro. That's what this quarterback was supposed to be your guy that could do all that. That could do everything.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, but shout out to Ohio State for the win. Staying undefeated. Now they got to take on Michigan. This could end up as a round robin where maybe Penn State goes on and beats Michigan, and Michigan I didn't miss you beats Ohio State. I'm just saying, dog, it could happen, right? It could happen. Man,
I struggle with that thought.
I know, right? I know. So let's move into it. My guy has showed up, man. Arkansas lost to Mississippi State 7-3 at home. Let's bring on my guy. Woo! Razorback Zach. What's going on, Zach? Woo! How you feeling, man?
No words needed. No words.
Hey, let
needed.
It out, dog. Let it out.
First off, I'm sorry I'm late. I was doing a reaction show of my own. The fans requested it, so I had to give them what they requested. But I have never seen. Can I cuss on this show, Coach?
Yeah, not the F word, but yes.
Oh no, I'm not. This was the worst shit show I have seen since Chad Moore. This was worse than the Chad Morris era.
Mm-hmm.
3 points on the opening drive, and that's it. Shawty, can we revisit that conversation we had a couple weeks ago?
Listen,
I try to
listen. I will be honest with y'all, man. I've been one of the biggest proponents of Pittman, but I'm watching the game, dog. And this is before I knew they was gonna lose. I'm watching the game, and it's 7-3, dog, at home. And I was just like, they gotta fire Pittman. My son was like, "What?" I was like, "No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to TV."
Right. I want to share with you guys a quote that he said in his post-game press conference, and
this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
He was asked about electing to punt instead of sending Cam Little for a field goal. Now, keep in mind, they're on Mississippi State's 40-ish yard line. Okay.
Bear Alexander crying. He's crying.
He should, man.
Hey, yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
You're good. I've got it on too. Just we were talking about it on the show a minute ago.
Yeah.
So they send the field goal team out and somehow get this delay a game, which pushes them out of field goal range, which for Cam Little is like 60 yards, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And when he was asked about it, he said this, quote, "To be honest, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't make the decision fast enough. I didn't want to burn the timeout because I wasn't sure if I was making the right decision."
Oh, good grief.
First off, let me just say this. If you're a head coach in year 4 and you say the words, "I don't know what I was doing," you need to be fired right then.
Tonight. Yeah, he should be leaving in the morning. Get his ass out of here.
Cody.
I've been a big defender of Sam Pittman, okay?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the balls to do what it takes to be a true head coach in the SEC.
That was one of the Shawty said he was too nice.
Cody.
Hey, Cody, did you watch this game?
That's what I told.
I know.
Cody, did you watch this game?
No, I did not.
Oh my God. So 7-3, 3 points to the worst team in the SEC before now you're the worst team in the SEC record-wise. I mean, 3 teams. If Gundy does that at home, dog. At home, to put it in perspective, this would be like Gundy doing this at home against Cincinnati or Houston or
yeah.
This has got to be fireable, dog.
That's a fireable offense. That is absolutely a fireable offense, right?
Here's the thing.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but
3 points.
Hold on. Wasn't it just a year ago that everyone was talking about Sam Pittman like revolutionizing what Arkansas football was going to be for the new age of the new SEC?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay. All right.
When Arkansas just magically went 9-3, so
that's fair.
Last year we limped into a bowl game at 6-6.
But I got in right before you start that, Zach. Hold on. I got in Australia, man. He says as an Aussie, he's no American football expert, but he feels the game is overcoached and players should make more on-field decisions. Players thrive when they have a little bit more control.
I agree.
Okay. I'm not totally opposed to that. I would make a
lot of egos that get in the way of that, Coach.
I would just ask him just be a little bit more specific. Like, what exactly do you mean giving players more control to do what?
I don't think they should have control per se. But if you got somebody that is considered and I'm not talking about everybody, and this I think is a case by case, right?
Sure.
Like if I got a star player, especially at the quarterback position, and I'm more like, what do you see on the field? He's like, coach, they come in heavy on the left through the A gap. I think if we try to run left or something, or we throw it to the right or whatever, and I'm like, okay, now I'll draw up a play, and just one play to see how it works. I don't know, because he's on the field per se, doing like Caleb Williams, like a CJ Stroud in his case, like a Bryce Young, those top echelon. Like I'm not just letting anybody come in like, oh, hey, coach, they blitzed me from the left. Like, dog,
sure.
You 1 for 15. I don't really care what you talk about. You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely communicate with my college quarterback. I would definitely communicate. But I'm gonna tell you what, I got a guy way up in the skybox that see all that stuff too, and he like I get paid a lot of money. I'm not leaving my career.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's why I said it has to be some stipulation. I'm not saying that he gets to make
page is what it is.
Yeah. I'm not saying he gets to make the
trust. That's what trust.
But I need to know what you see.
Right. Yeah, for sure. That's why I asked. I wanted to know specifically what he meant by giving.
I got you.
So I actually have a direct correlation for this one. Okay. For Oklahoma State specifically, Alan Bowman and 5 wide receivers spent some time in the summer going over routes and things of that nature, right? So they were doing a lot of option route stuff. The first few games of the year, they weren't allowed to run the option route stuff. And you see it on film. OSU quarterbacks throwing it all over the place. It looks like our quarterbacks and receivers have no clue what they're doing together. And then we started allowing these option routes to open up. So now the quarterback and the receiver have 3 different angles they can branch off of based off the defense. So since we've now given our quarterback and our receivers to run these option routes, you're seeing a much, much, much different product on the field. So yes, having some freedom on the field, it can go a long ways if it's harnessed right.
Like I say, if it's me, I take that information, what you just said, like maybe Ralph doesn't like, hey, coach, in the summer when Ralph was running the seam route, he liked to run it on the right side. He had more catchable balls on that side or whatever. Like I take that into consideration. I'm not saying that he goes out there and tell me Ralph can only run seam routes, because if Ralph want to play, he going to run all the routes. But when we do actually call a seam route, I try to make sure Ralph was on the right side or something like that. That's what I mean. I'm interested to see what Ian says.
Taking input.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not. I'm saying that's not giving control. I want to know where he's not giving control.
All right, Zach. Hey, you got more. I know you got more. You got a lot. Let it out, dog.
This was a must-win game.
It was
a must-win game. Not a should win. It was a have to win game. And
it's looking.
How the hell did we score 31 points against LSU?
How you feel about the staff you put together?
Hey, say that again, Shorty. You cut out.
How you feel about the staff that Pittman put together?
I think the defensive staff is amazing. I think they're great.
Okay.
The offensive staff can kiss my ass.
Get out of bounds.
Utah USC reaction live, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You good. I just yeah. We good. You can react like that. Yeah.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Arkansas right now. Okay.
Okay.
Kiffin is 6-1. Drink is 6-1. That makes me want to vomit a little bit. They're all. Brian Kelly in year 2 is still contending for the SEC West at LSU.
Big fact.
Okay. We're in year 4, and I'm looking down the barrel of a 3-9 season.
Yeah, because y'all 2-6 right now, dog. Y'all literally had to win out if y'all wanted to go to a bowl game.
Coach. There ain't no winning out. There's no saving the season. There's nothing. Dan Enos, it needs to be fired tonight.
And get what? Y'all got probably the most quarterback with the most experience coming back out the whole conference.
And this is what he's doing to him. You can't tell me that Dan Enos. Here's the thing. I was never on the Dan Enos train. I didn't want him to be hired. When he was hired, I went, well, there goes our season.
So before we move on to the next game, Zach, with us knowing that y'all probably won't make a bowl game, how long do you think it takes? I know Sam should be on the hot seat next year at minimum. How long do you think it takes Arkansas to move on from Sam?
You get one of two things. Okay, if he fires Dan Enos during the bye week, which I logically I think he should do. It's not working.
Oh, I think somebody's getting fired at the end of the year. I don't know who it is, but
okay.
Yeah, you getting fired. Somebody's getting fired.
19 for 37, 97 yards and a touchdown today against Mississippi State. That was KJ's stats. 3 yards per pass. 3 yards.
Ugh.
The one time he throws it longer than 15 yards, guess what happened? It was picked off.
Yeah.
Okay. Enos or Kennedy need to go. One or both need to go this week. I don't give a damn which one, but I one of them's got to go. The other one goes at the end of the season.
There it is. So we'll see if some changes come down the pike. I don't know.
If that happens, Coach, if that happens the way it should, Pittman buys himself another year.
Well, I think the administration is going to make him fire somebody. That's normally how these things go. Like when you get to the point where you're on the hot seat, they bring you in and probably the conversation goes something like, we're not going to fire you, but you got to fire somebody. So whoever you blaming it on, fire him. And if it's the offensive coordinator, offensive line, it's got to be a coordinator. Like just firing an offense, a position coach ain't enough for the administration. You gotta let a coordinator go. So if you're saying Dan Enos and on the offensive side is that bad, like he's got to go. Like he's got to go.
So the thing about that, and no, I 100% agree. But the problem is Sam Pittman doesn't have the balls to do it.
Ooh, Timothy
Green says he ain't gonna have no choice though.
He ain't gonna have no choice. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what the administration normally does to you. It's like, hey, we can fire you or you can fire him. I mean, if you want to go down with your boy, that's fine. But we would rather you fire him. You know what I'm saying? Timothy Green says Neil Brown, West Virginia, would be great for Arkansas. I don't think West Virginia is going to let go. I think they like him. I know at the beginning of the season. I don't know. Maybe, and if Coop was here, maybe he could tell us more. I thought they liked Neil Brown in West Virginia, but maybe not. I don't know. But there it is, man. Listen, Arkansas looking like they had to be last in the SEC West. Let's go to the Big 12, man. Big 12, Texas, Houston, Texas.
Oh, what a game.
Listen, Texas
loses first. SC loses.
Yeah, SC did lose. Utah is the winner. Cody, we're gonna let you start out on this one, man. Texas pulled it out at the end. Houston actually had a chance to tie it up to go into overtime, and they failed with the I want to say it was a fourth down play.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'll tell you this. I hate it. I absolutely hate it when anybody is like, well, if the refs would have called this flag, or you know what I mean? Because there's 73,000 other plays that also could have helped you win the game. But they screwed Houston on that fourth down conversion. Like so hardcore. It wasn't even close, man. And you can't say it was Texas cooking refs because it was in Houston. But if they give him that first down, you know what I mean?
You can.
They have so many options.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for Houston. I really, really do, because that running back did his job. He got 2 yards. He only needed 1. I don't know how they pushed it backwards. And then the rollout play to the right to end the game wasn't a very smart play to end the game. So that's what Houston fans are going to be left with, is the taste of getting screwed, followed by a terrible play that had no rhyme or reason. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It didn't make any damn sense.
So Jason,
I feel terrible for Houston. I love this for Texas, though, because it just goes to show that they're susceptible. And they've got some games left that are not going to be easy to tiptoe through, especially if yours is a somewhat serious injury.
So that's what I was going to say. I know he got injured and Malik Murphy finished the game, but what was the injury? Like I turned it and then came back and Malik was in quarterback. I'm like, where's Ewers? What happened? I know he got injured. What was the injury?
I'm not 100%. To me, it looked like a bruised sternum because he took a pretty good shot. And it was helmet to chest, and he couldn't breathe for a while. So if it's a bruised
could have been
sternum,
broken ribs, could have been a collarbone, could have been something like that.
Exactly.
So Bagman, what's going on, Bagman? He said we want Arch. No.
Yes, you do want Arch, but that's not what's gonna. And here's the thing that concerns me, as an Oklahoma guy. The concern you better have is that you saw Malik Murphy have his shaky moment today, and that because they got through it, now all of a sudden he's gonna get some confidence, because I've been saying this is Vince Young 2.0.
The thing about it though, if it is a sternum or a rib and it's nothing broken, even if Malik does good, I mean, I'm pretty sure once Quinn is back, Quinn would still be the guy playing in the Big 12 championship. You feel me?
Hey,
or you don't
Michael
know.
Penix just threw an interception on the 3-yard line.
Hold on.
3-yard line. That's how I go.
If you would tell me that if he wins the next 5 games.
But do you think Ewers is going to be out that long? That's what I'm saying, really.
I'm just saying if it's a broken collarbone, he's out for the season probably.
But that's true. That's true.
Depending on what it is. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's the thing is that if it's a serious injury and he has to play significant time, even if he went 3 games and they start looking better, because they've been playing with their food a lot.
Yeah,
they've not exactly been blowing anybody out for pretty much at all. Period.
They offense. That's why their offense had really. Yeah, they offense hadn't scored a lot of points. So that's what I was gonna say. Even before Ewers went out, Houston was right there. I mean, it was like they were slowing them down. I watched this game and I'm like, Houston, number 2 for Houston, the wide receiver. That dude's really he was kind of carrying them for a little while. And their quarterback, they got him out of the transfer portal. He was like a backup somewhere, but that dude was balling out of control today.
He played a lot at Tech.
He didn't play a lot at Tech last year. Donovan Smith. He's a stud. He's a stud, man.
And Houston, record-wise, bottom of the Big 12. That's what I'm saying. So I was thinking, and we'll get to OU here in a minute, but the top 2 teams in the Big 12 were kind of struggling with 2 of the bottom teams in the Big 12, and these both coming off of, because you both coming off a big win in the Red River. And I don't know, what do you think? Let's talk about Texas first, Jason. Like, what do you attribute that to? You just think Texas may not be as good as we think they are.
Texas sucks.
Listen,
look, we got 3 Texas haters on here.
Agree with such a statement, Okie.
Texas.
Fuck Texas. Yeah. Listen, they're very talented though. And so
they got a lot of talent. They do.
It's listen, the more that they win these close games, and the concern that I have would be that Malik gets a little bit he knows what he's doing now. All of a sudden, he's been in the fire now. He's not so concerned and nervous now. Sark, he's been doing this for 10 years and he gags. So it's not that it's not out of the realm of possibility that they lose a game or 2 coming down the stretch. It's just not. Yeah. And and look, it's bottom line is I think that there's certainly some issues within how they do things. I think that if you listen to any of the Texas creators following the game, the ones that are worth anything were saying, they were calling Sark and his boys into question, and their defensive coordinator and everything else too. I mean, just the way that they seem to play it. And the truth is, there's a problem with toughness, and I've said this. I think that their biggest issue is toughness.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Mike?
That's just my feeling about it. Now, as far as talent-wise, yeah, man, there's no question where they should be. But I tell you, that Iowa State game looks scarier and scarier to me if I'm a Texas fan right now.
Yeah,
they still got to play TCU
in Ames, and it's.
I think Kansas State and Iowa State both could jump up and grab Texas right now. With or without Quinn Ewers.
What's your thoughts on the Longhorns, dog?
I'm gonna say this right here. Once again, I'm just my damn king. Listen, man, y'all can talk about Texas all y'all want. That also brings your win against Texas question.
Absolutely.
How good really are you guys? You guys just really struggle.
We're gonna get to OU after this Texas. That's right.
And so So with that being said about Texas, I mean, I don't think they're very good.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
They got some holes.
I think so. I think so. But I think as far as I just from if I'm right, Jason, from what you've been saying all this time, it's not that Texas doesn't have a good team.
No,
it's just they don't have a good staff, per se.
Well, it's a weakness. It's an over entitled mentality that permeates through the locker room.
And also, it's the fact that they have not won in 14 years of conference championship.
Yeah, Mike Wilkerson is agreeing with Shawty about the win for Texas. But me and Jason, we talked about this when we talked about the rankings that I do, on Thursdays or whatever. I mean, on Wednesdays. It's not like you're rooting for Texas to win, but as far as OU success, you know what I'm saying, you want them to stay good, because then people want, the CFP is going to be like, okay, well, OU beat Texas, and then Texas, let's say they lose to Iowa State, and then they lose to whoever, and then you're like, dang man, Texas is now 9-3. Like, that doesn't look as good as an 11-1 Texas, and the only losses to OU. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that goes into I don't know what it was today.
If you go undefeated, you don't have to care.
That's true. But
you better hope some other folks ain't undefeated.
Listen, I'm just telling you. Well, the undefeated brand, there's only going to be there's only a handful now.
Yeah. So
every conference has the undefeated person, right?
Currently they do.
But at least one. I mean, Big Ten or Pac-12, you could theoretically stay undefeated, I guess.
Yeah.
But one of the undefeated teams in the Big Ten is gone. It's got to be.
Well,
right?
Penn State's gone, and then Michigan and Ohio State, one of them's gone. So,
one of them's
like I said,
so there's only. I mean, there could be one.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but Penn State could legit beat Michigan because they kind of play the same brand of football. They try to kind of squeeze the life out of you.
You're still gonna have an undefeated person in that conference. So it don't change.
No. If Penn State beats Michigan and Michigan beats Ohio State, then they all have one loss.
Trending more in the direction of not.
I'm not saying it can't happen. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Ohio State or Michigan is going undefeated. I don't know which one now, because I don't know who's going to be playing for Ohio State and if Ohio State can get over the hump. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be Michigan because
I never had the idea that wasn't going to happen, though, from day one.
Yeah. I
don't think that I really felt that way at all. I know people wanted to jump on the Penn State bandwagon. They were in the show me spot for me, and I mean, they showed us shit today. So I'm not there with that. But and again, I still think that now Washington. I think that they look. I mean, they're really good, man. They're really good, but
they got to beat Arizona State tonight. So
still think Oregon's the best team in that conference.
You think Oregon's better?
Even though they didn't win that game,
but you think they could come back and beat Washington in the Pac-12? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Who do you like better at the quarterback, though? Who do you like better? I like Penix, and
I like Washington. I like Washington, but
I like Penix too as a quarterback. But just talking about the game as a whole. And once again, the same thing I would say about most people. It's hard to beat these teams twice. And they won by 3.
And Mars gets in and says every team in college football has struggled. That's what this year, particularly at this point in it, no team has had a flawless victory. No matter who it is. I mean,
who the closest? Michigan.
Michigan has had some slow start first half.
But it's also they have the luxury of having the easiest schedule in America. They have to win. They still have to take.
We had a soft schedule, but we weren't whipping for that.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
No, I mean, look, and they've been in the playoff for two straight years, and they've got a good quarterback. I think that McCarthy's pretty good. I mean, I don't think he's the best, but I think he can throw the deep ball, and he seems to do exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants him to do. Look, I mean, you can't really, but as far as just to finish up on Texas, look. The fact is, that's a bad blood game. You can see why that would be a close game, too. I mean, you can make excuses for Texas if you want to. I tend to believe that until Texas, again, like I just said about Penn State, until Texas shows us that they can win a conference championship, you can't trust that they're gonna, even if they get there. But that, and again, with the whole thing with Sark is he still hadn't won 10 games yet. Now, I think the 10 games is pretty much looking like it should happen. But look, we have seen him fall apart before. So,
True.
you know.
But from an OU perspective this year, if you think everybody's going to have one loss, you definitely don't want Texas to not – you don't want them to fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
You don't. And look, I get it, man. I've been saying this a lot. Is that I've always operated and I continue to operate with the assumption that Oklahoma needs to win them all.
Yeah, you said that. You definitely said that. And speaking of OU, let's go ahead and talk about it. OU and Texas, to be honest, this is – y'all look similar again. Like it was another week you guys kind of looked similar, you know, the way you guys played against the same kind of caliber team. UCF and Houston are both with Cincinnati, the 3 worst record-wise in the Big 12. And you and Texas are the top 2 in the Big 12 and both teams at home, nonetheless. Or no, that like Texas was Texas was on the road. They was on the road, but y'all were at home. Yeah. UCF had a chance to win, and you know, I ain't gonna listen, man. I don't agree. I don't know what Gus was doing on the 2-point conversion. Why you got a running back pass, right? Bro? You got a running back pass for a 2-point. You got to run him right. He's a right-handed guy. Like he's not a quarterback. He doesn't know how to turn his shoulder, square his shoulders, get the ball out. Like that was bad. I'm not saying they would have won because that would have just sent it in overtime, but that was closer than you wanted, right, Jason?
Yeah, definitely. What I will say is this: Oklahoma has covered every week until now. Okay, they've covered the spread, and so there's been moments where they've struggled in games, but there's never been like today where you were, you know, it was down to the last play, aside from the Texas game, which that would have been, you know, it was what it was.
Yeah. So to that play, it was only one wide receiver over there. That's what my guy B said. Yeah, that's right. That's just a bad play call for a 2-point conversion, dog. I'm not leaving my 2-point conversion in the hands of a running back. On the
broadcast, don't you usually? I mean, they always say to come with your best 2-point play. You mean to tell me that's it,
bruh?
Your quarterback just drove you all the way down the field.
That's right.
If I'm not running the ball, why would I put it in my running back hand to throw it? My quarterback just brought me all the way back on the arms of my quarterback.
And another thing,
why would I put it in my running back hands to throw it?
I don't like short down passes where you take away 2/3 of the field. Like,
he's also got to throw it. He's got to throw it too, though. Like, there's nobody outside that safety. So even if you miss, I don't know.
But the problem is, Cody, he's a running back.
I know.
He's a running back running left that's right-handed. Like, that's hard for quarterbacks to do. That's a bad play call, bro.
He might not make that throw on air.
He could have put the old shot put in or some shit.
Hey, you got to run that. If that's your go-to, like Jason said, that's supposed to be your best short yardage play right there. Like all the marbles on the line, that's your best play. If that's your best play, you should run that to the right.
And Coach, this why it be so hard. He just proved, no disrespect, but he just proved why he at UCF. Only a head coach can get away with that call. An offensive coordinator can't get away with that.
He gets fired tomorrow if he's OC. That's right.
Yeah. You in Oklahoma with a chance to tie it up and go, and you call that again. Sometimes it's not just the play, it's the execution, it's the personnel that you use for the play. You just can't run that to the left with the running back, dog. Like I wouldn't even like that play if that's John Rice Plumlee, because I think he's right-handed too. Like, I don't want you having to turn your body because that gives the defense more time to get into your body. Like,
absolutely.
It's terrible, bro. I don't know what that was about. But anyway.
Well, and guys, all year, that has been UCF's downfall. And same with Cincinnati. It's a lot of the close games they've lost. It's because they mismanaged
how
the
much
clock.
were they up in Baylor, Cody?
They were up 31-7 at half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all just mismanagement, right? Kicking field goals at the wrong time, running out of timeouts, not having the right personnel on the field, having 12 men on the field and getting pushed out of field goal range. That 2-point play. you nailed it. This is exactly why Gus Malzahn is at UCF. He's a great name for UCF, but he is messing up games like a rookie coach.
Big facts.
He's not a
rookie. Gimmick though, guys. Let's just call it what it is.
Oh, yeah. I said that when he was at Auburn. He's more of a
similar to like having to get ready for a service academy. You don't know what the hell's coming. If you don't play against the triple option, stuff like that, but once every 5 years when you play a service academy, then you're not ready for it. There's some things that you're going to have to deal with. This is such a gimmicky, weird offense that you can see why it could mess up. And what happened was Oklahoma let them stay in the game too long. There was some ridiculous play calling on the other side. Jeff Lebby, and look, I've been a apologist of Jeff a lot, and I'm going to tell you that today he didn't have it.
He did.
Now there was that. So I don't know why Tyree Walker wasn't there. Apparently he got into an argument with DeMarco. I don't know what that was about.
All right, so I was about to say I want Jason to rebuttal, but I want Cody. Tell me what the problem was with OU and why this wasn't a better performance from OU.
I think it was always going to be this way, right? This is the game that UCF circled before they even knew OU was going to be on the schedule with Jeff Lebby and Dylan Gabriel. You know what I mean? They were going to put all marbles into this game. So I talked to Jason yesterday. I thought it was going to be pretty close simply because they were going to be prepared. At least they were going to have enough tricks up their sleeve to make this thing interesting. And as far as like the deficiency for OU, they can't run the cotton picking football, y'all. They can't do it.
They're not good at it. They did it good against Texas, and that's the way that Jason wants them, to run the ball. They ran it good against Texas, but nobody else. And I don't know what's going on with that because I'm watching the game today, and the running back is pretty decent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So listen, that was one positive that you got out of it. Sawchuk obviously put the ball on the ground early, but then that play at the end that you saw him run in that touchdown. Mm-hmm. This is why Oklahoma fans have been clamoring for the kid all year.
He kind of took over that last 8 minutes for sure.
Mara said Jeff Lebby was off the wall like Michael Jackson today. Hey man, welcome into the show, my guy Seawalk, man, Clemson fan. Seawalk. When we after we talk OU, man, we're gonna get to Clemson and we're gonna let Seawalk jump in here, man. So all right, Jason, what do you think it was today? Like Cody said that UCF kind of circled this game, preseason or whatever, and they've been looking forward to it. But I don't know, you probably have a different take on it.
No, it's not really that big of a take difference. I think here's the deal. I think that Gus Malzahn had 2 weeks to get ready for the game. Number one.
Okay. Yeah.
I think number two, Oklahoma had 2 weeks to get ready for the game.
I was about to say, what y'all off?
But you're coming off an emotional win. I think it was probably a little too much time to talk about how good you are by beating Texas. And because of last year, there's a lot of emotion that goes into that. I'm not making excuses whatsoever. I wanted to see them come out and step on their neck, period.
Yeah.
They didn't, when they allowed them to hang around a little longer than they should, because they stopped them the first 4 drives. They dominated the first 4 drives that UCF had. They were 3 and out, all 4 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the issue. And you said this before. This is a moment where it's hard to get a kid, and especially this is a fairly young team, to realize that game don't mean nothing anymore when you've been in. OU, the fans, everybody has been loving on them for 2 weeks. That we're back,
rat poison,
all that. You could have predicted a letdown in this situation. Now the difference is, for the last 5-7 years, they would have lost this football game. Period. A year ago, they'd lose this football game. Period.
OU?
Yes.
Outside of last year, yes, but
when you get tested, they would have lost it. They lost 5 one-score games last year, so that
first year.
But also under Lincoln, look what happens. These close games, they lose them. They've been doing it. Look, where do you think Oklahoma came from, bro?
I thought it came from in the big game, like in the playoffs against Georgia, against
that was Bob Stoops, bro.
Every year that Lincoln, the games that he lost were always to somebody they shouldn't lose to. Kansas State, or Kansas State. Usually Kansas State.
Yeah,
Baylor.
I was about to
the
say
same about Bob Stoops, though, too, then.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, listen, Big Game Bob wasn't Big Game Bob for the last 5 years of his career, at least.
Yeah.
Mike says his
And
knee-jerk
that's an
reaction
unpopular opinion to have as an OU fan. But it's true.
Mike's saying his knee-jerk reaction is the team didn't look prepared for the game, and that's not great considering y'all had 2 weeks too.
I don't think it was a preparation thing. I think that I genuinely feel now, were they ready to? I don't know that they were ready to see what they saw from Gus. Again, that's such a gimmicky offense. But again, they made plays when they had to. And here's the one takeaway that I want to give and I'm not going to sit here and take up for OU for what they did. They won the football game. 7-0 is still 7-0.
Big facts.
7-0 is still 7-0. Boys, that's it.
We count dubs and L's around here, baby.
Hey, and they did what they were supposed to do. Now, in the end, what I will tell you is, like I said, they would have lost this game last year. They would have lost this game the year before that. When they got into these tight contests, there was no toughness there. And that defense made the stops when it had to make them. Kendall Dobie, to get over there and make that play, whether the guy got the ball off or not, he didn't really have a lot of time.
Yeah, Jimmy Satterfield says 7-0. Steve G says, I think it was 2 weeks of Rat Poise. I'm telling you, Rat Poise, all the interviews got to the team. Mars says they look sleep to him. So
yeah, listen, and that's rat poison that you think you got this one because they've been the worst team. They gave up freaking 399 yards rushing to Kansas a couple of weeks ago.
Well, fellas, if you look around the college football landscape today,
whatever it was,
most of the big games today were close. Almost all of them.
That's true.
Like
So listen,
today's been a fun, dead evenly matched style of day. It's been great, man.
Had an upset too.
Shout out to Caleb, a couple of upsets, and we're going to get to them. Shout out to Caleb Stacy for jumping in. He says not having your number one wide receiver makes a difference. Caleb, that is my sentiment, but Jason told me that guy isn't your number one wide receiver. So,
I don't think he is, and I think that
and they got 6 other ones,
bro. And what did I tell you? But I told you it was deep in there, and what happened? Nick Anderson went out and had himself a day.
Stoops. I like Drake Stoops, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like me some Drake Stoops.
But big grab after big grab, but it wasn't a problem with the receiving core. It was not.
I never said it was a problem with the receiver. I'm just saying he was saying that he thinks that kind of affected your offense. But you're saying
if we're going to talk about that, then I think that the injury to mature the right guard, they end up moving Savion Byrd over to right and then had a freshman in on the left side because that's where he was, Caleb Green. I think that that wasn't a good thing for the running game. And I think that kind of messed with it as well. I think there's a lot of things that you can say about it. In the end, they won the freaking football game. Damn sure they're going to. And here's one thing that I said it on the after show, and this is what I'll end it with. When they won, Venables had a big smile. And just as I thought in his press conference, he said, hey, I love having something to yell at him about after a win.
That's true. Benjamin says, OU run game not good. I hope they can correct it. I'm with that. Caleb says there was still a lot of drops. Mars says Bird is playing soft. Who's Bird?
Savion Byrd. He's the one that moved from left guard to right guard. And I don't think it fit him very well. Okay,
so now just to close this one off, Jason, you said with Texas, because how they look today, you said now that Iowa State game is a little bit more intriguing. Mm-hmm. How you guys look today, is there a game that looks a little bit more intriguing down the line?
Next week. Kansas.
Gotcha.
Especially if Jalen's back. Back. Don't bring up Bedlam to me because I ain't hearing that. Mm-mm.
I got you.
Don't buy it. I'm not buying it.
Why you scared? Why are you scared, Jason? You scared? Go to church.
I ain't scared.
All right. So hey, man, we got our guy Seawald in here, man. And Clemson just ended the game. Miami won 28-20 in OT. Actually, double OT. Seawald, initial feelings, my guy.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, man. what is there to feel? This is a program-defining loss for us at this point. 4-3. We averaged less than a yard a carry in this game.
Wow.
Miami dominated both lines of scrimmage. They had over 225 yards rushing. We had 34 yards rushing on 31 attempts. Something of that. We had 34 attempts, 31 yards rushing. 0.9 yards a carry. Man, it just everything that we talked about the other day happened tonight. Every single one of them. Nothing new. Same old Clemson. It's hard to watch. 2 games this year, both in overtime, to teams who have used the transfer portal. I haven't been a big, fan of the portal. I somewhat agree with Dabo in the portal, the way he approaches it. But it's time to make moves, man. You've got guys who have been in the program a couple of years, and it's not working. It's just not working at all.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, that offense, man.
That receiver room, right? Good.
Listen, that's what I told Jason. So Jason is real high on Riley. I'm not down on Riley. I'm not as high as the rest of the nation is. That was before this year. I think he's good, but they were saying like he's the best in the country, and I think there's at least 4 or 5 guys that can call plays better than Riley. But to that point, there's some sentiment out there that Dabo's not letting Riley call his style of offense. Do you believe the same, or you think it's more personnel?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Dabo likes to try to feel like he's being a coordinator since he's never been one. Personnel plays a role in it. I still don't think our wide receiver room is that bad, man. I feel
like Tyler Brown and I told you Antonio Williams. I feel like Bo Collins is average at best, but the thing that made Clemson good in the good years, T. Higgins, outside receiver threat.
For sure.
Mike Williams, outside receiver threat. Justin Ross freshman year, outside receiver threat. Sammy Watkins could play outside receiver threat. Even Deion Cole, bro. Like, y'all don't even have Deion Cole, and they're like, I think he was good, but I don't think he was on the other guy's level. But that's what I think the problem is at the beginning of it. And what's his name? Your quarterback. He's kind of
Cade. It's a struggle for me with Cade right now. I was a huge Cade fan. I felt this is game number 8 for him as a starter. It seems like he's going backwards, and that's not a good sign at all, man. And some of the decisions he's making, the very last play of this game was a read option, and he pulls it. In what world should Cade be pulling this ball at this point? You know what I mean? Like, give it to Maffa. Everybody loves Shipley. Take Shipley out of the game, dude. I'm much higher on Maffa.
I was high on Maffa as they came in. I thought Shipley was more all around. Whereas when you talk about running the ball, I felt like eventually Maffa was definitely going to be the same runner of the two. Stephen G says they really missing Venables. I think they are missing Venables in some aspect to some degree, but I don't think the defense is the problem. I think the offense is the biggest problem that Clemson is having. But on the defense, it doesn't look at the same, without Venables. What do you feel about that, Seawalk?
Yeah. So we all love Coach Venables. We hated to see him leave. I'm glad we were able to keep Wes Goodwin. I thought he learned a lot from Venables. Yeah, but I don't think Venables is really the issue with us. If we want to specifically talk about defense, we're going to go back to Marion Hobby not being at Clemson right now. Like even with Todd Bates there, man, I never was a huge fan of Todd Bates. I felt like our defensive lines regressed every year after Marion Hobby went to the NFL. Now, we still have that talent that we had recruited, so I think the coaches benefited from that. But now I like Nick Eason. I'm not knocking Nick Eason, but our defensive line got destroyed tonight. They were completely manhandled by Miami. I was wondering why Miami wasn't running the ball earlier in the game. They were running a lot of screens with the freshman quarterback Williams, and they had to have been averaging at least 6.5 yards a carry tonight. Now that was pretty bad.
Yeah. Shout out to Kim, man. What's going on, Kim? Appreciate you getting in. Shouty, I know a lot of us was watching the USC Utah finish. Did you catch any of this Clemson finish?
I did not, but can I answer your question with a question for Seawalk?
Yeah.
See, Walt, this is my question to you. You said something that really caught my ear. If you don't like the transfer portal, tell me why you don't like the transfer portal, but you're still going to elect to use it.
Yeah, I don't dislike the transfer portal. I believe it serves a role, right? But I'm more speaking on the way Clemson handles the portal, not necessarily my personal views on it. I just feel like for us, we know we need to use the portal, right? Dabo knows he needs to use it. He gives this long spiel about how it's and people have to be the perfect fit to get to Clemson. We don't need guys. We got the guys we recruited out of high school, and I'm cool with that if the guys are working out. But when you've got glaring holes, man, you have to do something. You have to swallow that pride and do something. At the end of the day, you got to change with the game, or it's going to leave you behind.
Mike Gundy.
I think they kind of feel the same way that but I think Gundy has used it just a tad bit more than Dabo.
Well, he was kind of forced to come around, but Gundy and Dabo shared the same sentiments, and they talked about basically the same things. And I think from their perspective, I agree. I don't think it's good for the game of college football, but it is what it is. It's the landscape that we all find ourselves in.
That's the question I'm asking. Why isn't it not good? I guess that's what I should. Why isn't the portal good?
Because one of the biggest parts of college football was whenever you went through the recruiting process and you saw a freshman come into your university, and then you got to saw him develop over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That was part of you being a fan, right? That was part of you falling in love with the university, is because you got to watch somebody's progression, and you got to watch it all the way across the board. So if you got 25 guys in a recruiting class, 18 of them, 19 of them were probably going to be there their junior years. So you got to watch the development, and it made you more of a fan because it made you feel more invested to the process. And that's kind of gotten away.
I think that's to that point from what you're saying. It sounds like, from a fan standpoint, the transfer portal is not the right. most liked thing because from a player standpoint, it's great. But from a fan standpoint, you get, you like, it's one of the reasons why it's hard to keep up with college basketball now, because I would prefer you let them go straight to the league from high school, and then if they go to college, they got to stay 3 years. But that's just me as a fan, because I don't even know who's playing college basketball anymore. And I think that's what he's kind of saying. It's like a guy will come in as a fan. Like I say, you get this guy first year, you like, oh man, in a year and a half, 2 years, man, we're gonna see this dude. But in a year and a half, 2 years after, he's like, for instance, I would have preferred Burton to stay in Athens. I'm happy for the kid. He's doing good. But what he's doing this year at Alabama, I felt like it was coming in Athens. And as a Georgia fan, I would have preferred he stayed in Georgia. But for the players, like this is the best thing for the players, because there's a lot of players that has went through college and didn't get to see no field time. And with the transfer portal, and it's also from a coaching standpoint. And I think this is where Clemson fans get mad at Dabo. From a coaching standpoint, it helps fill holes. Like Kirby doesn't use it a lot, but when you need something, he goes and gets it to like fill it up. And Colorado, without the transfer portal, Colorado isn't doing what they're doing. Oregon's not doing what they're doing. Michigan's not being Joe Moore Award winners. So people don't know that line has had transfer portal guys the last 3 years. And so,
Coach.
Yeah.
Guess what also happens at the end of the year that a lot of fans don't understand?
Yeah, I know.
See, Walt, this is what happens at the end of the year. I'm Dabo. See, Walt, you coming into my office at the end of the year, because guess what? It's time for your exit. See, Walt, guess what? You've been doing great for the program, but I just don't think this is the place for you, because scholarships are 1 year renewable. Guess what? I don't think this is the place for you, because I need to free this scholarship for this other 4-star I want. I think it'll be in your best interest if you go somewhere else. And guess what? Guess how they clean that conversation up with? See, Walt entered the transport portal. They never know that he wasn't gonna make it no way. He was gonna lose his scholarship. They weren't gonna renew his scholarship.
And I think that's why Dabo is so not for the transfer portal, because Dabo, Kirby's like that. Nick Saban, Ryan Day, all these guys. Dabo is more so not like that. Like Dabo don't take a lot of people's scholarship, and I think a lot of Clemson fans have not liked that he didn't, because at one point y'all had like 4 or 5 coaches' sons playing, and and they was like, "Yo, it's time for this dude to go," type deal. And whereas Kirby would have had that talk, like you say, hey.
And even if they don't take the scholarship, what I'm saying is they won't let them play. You can still go to school. But I need this scholarship not to count. I need another player in this position to not count against my 85, which used to be that.
Yeah. And like I say, Dabo ain't really doing that. So Dabo wants to, like Cody was saying, Dabo wants to bring this guy and he wants to develop him for 4 years, because then Clemson is ingrained in him. Whereas now it's kind of like, it's not like, not for nothing, NFL players, they ain't got no real loyalty, which they shouldn't. The team don't have no loyalty to them, so why should they have loyalty? And that's another reason why I don't really, I root for the Falcons, but I don't really have no team, because I don't know who playing at most time. But I like I said, I get it. I don't mind the transfer portal, but I see what you're saying from a fan point, Cody and Seawalt. But like Shawty said, because Shawty played, Shawty had to go through those exit interviews, and fortunate for Shawty was able to keep playing each year.
You're gonna get left behind if you don't do it.
That's the point. Like, whether you like it or not, you got to use it, because everybody else is using it. So you have to do it. Like Brent Venables didn't like it. He didn't really use it the first year, but the second year he was like, okay, well, I don't like it, but if I want to win. You muted, Jason. If I want to win, and Jason spoke on this, you gotta get with the times. That's just
6 and 7 changes your mind about a few things.
And see, just about to say that, Jason. See, Walt, you mentioned being 4-3 now. You guys have won 10 wins for like 10 straight seasons or something like that. It's crazy. It's on the road where you're looking like you might not win them 10 wins, and that's one of Dabo's goals. I think this year is gonna force him to get out of that shell, and he's gonna have to.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely gonna have to. You still got Notre Dame and North Carolina on the schedule.
North Carolina State.
NC State's been looking rough, so
I'm just saying.
I don't know. The way we're playing, we look like an 8-win team, maybe. You're right, Dabo. You just look at our linebacker position. You're losing Trotter and Carter. Okay, we've only got 6 scholarship linebackers right now. That puts you down to 4. You got Sammy Brown coming in, and 3 of the guys on the roster, as it looks right now, probably are never going to be big time contributors. This is his test. You go into the portal and bring 2 veteran linebackers into the program. You have to. If he doesn't, it's just going to get noisier in Clemson, man. We tried to back him with his stance on NIL and portal, right? And it's biting him right now. And this, the program defining comment, that's where it's leading. You got Miami 42 transfers in the past couple of years. Florida State had 40 something, I believe. And both the teams beat you this year, and those transfers played a big role in that.
That's what I think. That's what it comes to when you're watching as a fan and your guy doesn't like the transfer portal. You play a team and then you lose to that team, and the person that does good for the team you lost to is a transfer. That eats at you. So I want to get to this Kim. You said if you can leave when your feelings get hurt, then coaches should have the option to cut a player. That's what Shawty was talking about. At the end of each year, the coaches do have the option to. That's what not renewing their scholarship is. They literally have that option because the scholarships are only 1 year. I know people say I got a full ride up next 3 or 4 years. I'm gonna be at this XYZ place, but it's always been, even back when we was, we some old guys, even back then, it was 1 year. It's like a lot of people don't know that it's not 4 years, it's 1 year. At the end of each year, the coach goes through and he says, okay, who am I keeping? And a lot of times you'll see guys, even before the transfer portal, you would see guys transfer. You're like, man, why that dude leaving? Like, oh, he just wanted to be close to home. Sometimes it was, but sometimes it was the coach.
Home,
Yeah, sometimes the coach said, listen, you can stay, but you ain't gonna get to play. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what they told one of the guys that's at Nebraska now that left Georgia. He actually loved Georgia. His mom said they didn't have no hard feelings towards Georgia because Kirby kept it real with him. He was like, look, you can stay, but we're moving towards some of these younger guys on the edge, and it'd be best for you to find another home. And he said, cool, love my time here. I'm gonna go find another home. Kirby helped him go, called a couple people. Now he at Nebraska. That's just how it worked, man. It's like you can stay, but why stay if you ain't playing? And that's their way of sort of, like I say, cutting people. They don't
We appreciate what you've done for the company, but your services are no longer needed. But I can give you a recommendation.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
That's right. I was gonna go back to, because I wanted to ask you this, and I don't want to be out here, misstating facts. I thought you told me that Britt did really.
I was saying he wasn't as aggressive for sure. Now he had to 50% it was more like in the 40s. It was like 40 something, but it was a lot. Now in the total over the 2 years, it's 85 players or something like that, somewhere in that area. And so half of it would have been a year ago. Now, a lot of that was because you had to, though, as well. I mean, you had guys that were either in the portal going to USC or in the portal going somewhere, and then you had a bunch of guys that went to the draft and stuff like that. So, but he wasn't as aggressive is what I was saying, is he wasn't as aggressive going after some guys that were in the portal, because and he's not gonna be. I mean, the one thing I'm gonna say is that Coach Venables is similar to Dabo. Their culture in the locker room is more important to them than anything else. Now, there was a couple of places that you knew that there were huge deficiencies. Coach V talked about that he wanted to give everybody an opportunity, the ones that didn't leave anyway. So, and I think he did that, but I think that it was pretty clear that he was getting more aggressive with it when he talked about in the springtime that look, some of these guys are going to be out the door, and some of them were, you know, and some of them that had stayed were out the door. So in the end,
a lot of times it's better for the player and the coach. You know what I'm saying? The player sometimes just don't fit what the coach trying to do. So it's better to let him go, or he decide to go, or whatever it is.
And I don't know if I didn't mean that he didn't use the portal at all, because you had to. You had to go get Dylan Gabriel because you lost 2 5-star quarterbacks. Yeah. You had to go use it. There were some spots that you kind of had to do it. He was able to keep a couple of people around, and then that isn't what, you ended up with Theo Weiss ended up going to Missouri now. And that was after playing for a year there. He never really fit in that well with Jeff Levy. I think he stayed in his doghouse until the end of the year. So he didn't get to play a whole lot. So, but, and there were some other things that in the end, I think he got more aggressive with it this season, as far as going and getting his guys instead of worrying about keeping Lincoln's leftovers happy. If they weren't fit, they weren't fits. That was it. And I'm not saying that James is wrong. He's not. He's right.
Yeah.
But it was. I was talking more about, like, how
he wanted to,
in looking for the guys that needed to fit because of 6 and 7. Right.
I got you. Shout out to Charles Crow Flies High. He's a member of the Hall of Fame college football now.
Thank you very much, Charles. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, man. I got Cody. Got to go. Before you get out of here, Cody, man, give us some parting words and then tell the people where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, hey, Coach, I greatly appreciate it. Seawald, keep your head in there. At least you're rocking the right colors. Shouty, it's been a privilege, brother, man. I greatly appreciate your insight. Yeah, man. Parting shots. I guess all I can say is the landscape of college football is crazy. The transfer portal, like it, love it, hate it. It's made the game of football a lot more enjoyable. Every single Saturday now, you're gonna see upsets. It's just it's just the way of the world. And I do think that from a viewership perspective, it does make it kind of cool. From a fan perspective, it kind of sucks. From a player perspective, I was just happy to get free meals and get to date all the cheerleaders. But you know what? That's it's a different age.
Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all go find Cody, man. Tell them where they can find you at, Cody.
On Twitter, obviously, @AllDayoState. I like to have some fun here and there. I have a daily podcast with Locked On Sports Network, obviously called Locked On Oklahoma State. And that's hold on, TV timeout. What's the other two? Oh, Facebook and Instagram are O State All Day. So that goes to show how much I use them.
There it is, man. We appreciate you coming on. Cody jumps on from time to time on our Saturday night snap count. Y'all make sure to go out, subscribe to this channel, and check out the content. We'll holler at you later, my man.
He's been pumping out the content too. He's been on a lot of shows this week, so y'all go give him some love over there at Locked On Oklahoma State, man. He's going to give you the real information about what's going on out in Stillwater, you know, not just that, you know, curated from the college angle. So,
big facts. Before, all right, we're about to move on, but Seawalt, tell us what you want to see from Clemson go the rest of the season, my man.
Yeah, man, we got to get better, you know, just offensively across the board. You know, we're playing for 10 wins. We just need to play to get the win. You know what I mean? Just try to build on what you started a few weeks ago. And I mean, that's really all I've got, man. It's
like you done lost a family member, man.
well, it's, you know, it's difficult to watch, man. Like I said, it's program defining, man. You've got the bar up here. It's been up here for the last 10, 12 years, and we're back to earth. And I think the Clemson fan base really needs to stop and realize that they need to stop with these expectations that they've got right now. I've slightly lowered that bar a little bit, you know, and it keeps going down a little. It's time to come back to reality and start rebuilding again.
Hey, always on to next week, man. You still 10 wins is still on the table if you win the bowl game. But if you drop another one, then you know, it might be some different things to talk about, man. Other in the ACC, man, Duke was handling Florida State until Riley Leonard got hurt, man. And Riley Leonard got hurt, and you know, Florida State finished them off 38-20. I've always said, anytime you try to make a conference championship run or a natty run, playoff run, you got to have some things go your way. I'm not wishing bad on anybody, but hey, it's not Florida State's fault that they don't have a good backup quarterback or whatever. But at the end of the day, Florida State got the win. At the end, like I say, the second half, they kind of pulled off, and a lot of that was due to Riley Leonard being off. We was kind of watching the USC and Utah game and the Clemson Miami game, so I didn't catch the end of it. Once I heard Riley Leonard went down, I was like, yeah, it's pretty much a wrap. They kind of lost their motivation. So shout out to Florida State for staying undefeated. I don't know if my guy Stacy is still watching. If you're watching, Stacy, you can come in. I'll put the link in the chat and we'll come back to Florida State, man. But let's talk about that USC Utah. USC is now a 2-loss team. Again, me and Shawty touched on this the other day. Shout out to Jason at the beginning of the year. Jason said the USC was going to lose 4 games. He and not a shot at Clemson, but Stat Guy did say Clemson was going to be about the same way. And I thought at the time, no games had been played, that both sentiments was crazy. Literally, I thought they was crazy. I was like, no way that offense that we watched last year is going to lose 4 games for USC, and Clemson's defense is going to be too good in a conference that I don't feel like has that many, you know, threats per se, that Clemson was going to be the same. But now Clemson especially, but they both look like they headed that way. So shout out to you, Jason. Let's talk about this USC Utah. You said, listen, even though I agreed with the 4 last week or the other day, I didn't think Utah would be a 1-on-1 because of the quarterback, and the offense has looked absolutely atrocious for the most part all year.
The offenses looked atrocious.
The Utah's offense.
Yeah. Well, everybody has a career day against the USC defense, just like they all used to have career days against the Oklahoma defense.
Oh,
this is the rerun we have seen. We have seen this movie every year since 2017. This is not news to anybody who paid attention to Oklahoma football. Now, the SC fans out there don't want to hear it, and I understand that, because you want to love on your team and love on your coach and love on your Heisman quarterback. But the fact of the matter is they didn't play Washington. They didn't play Oregon in his first season there. That 11-1 was soft. It was a soft one because they didn't have to play the top half of the schedule. They beat Oregon State without DJU by 3, 16-13, something like that. You know, and DJU has turned it around at Oregon State. So, you know, he's looked really, really good. So, look, they don't have to play them this year, and lucky for them. But, look, when you looked at the schedule coming in, and I told you guys this that first day, that first 6 games, they're going to look great.
Yeah.
But even then, you were starting to see little chinks in the armor, even from game 1 on, that they were giving up a lot of yards and a lot of stuff. And then I think that Caleb Williams has gotten into some bad habits. You've watched it on the game tonight. He never throws on schedule, man.
But I think it goes to something you said the other night. I think you was talking to somebody else, and it was like they don't even make it so he has any easy throws. Like he's working. Caleb is having to work way too hard, bro. Like I know he's the best quarterback in the game or whatever, but that dude have to work. And I said that a couple of weeks ago. I was like they panned over to him. I want to say it was the Colorado game. And I'm like he's sweating like nobody else on the field. And I'm like, I get it. I'm a hot-natured guy. I know it's easy to sweat, but he looked exhausted. And this was just the third quarter. I was like, this dude has way too much offensive talent around him. They at least used Marshawn Lloyd a little bit more today. Early, exactly. Mike says he was with you on the 4 losses. Shout out to Mike. He says that Steve B says they paid all that money for Bear Alexander. He cost them a game with it. So he had a targeting penalty. I know he got thrown out. I thought y'all was saying he got hurt, but he got kicked out.
He cried.
He had two rough and pass penalties.
Wow.
Like he just personal fouls, brother. Personal fouls. Played totally undisciplined. Like he's one of those guys when I be trying to tell you about it's cool to get 5 stars and 4 stars. These kids have to be coached. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like he's one of those kids that's gonna cost you a big game.
He kind of reminds me a lot attitude-wise of Brenton Cox. Brenton Cox had a lot of that went to Florida. One of the reasons why he left is he got into it with a couple of coaches. Right. Wasn't that high with the players. Some players was friends that he grew up with, but not a lot. And I heard the same kind of things about Bear. I still think Bear is a talent, but talent don't mean nothing if you can't get it together, man. Our guy C-Walk got to get up out of here. All right, C-Walk, we appreciate you coming in, man. And C-Walk will be joining us from time to time on the Saturday night snap count too, man, to talk some Clemson.
Hey, C-Walk, it ain't over, man. Hang in there, man.
Oh no, man, we're good. At the end of the day, I'll be great tomorrow. I'll wake up and it'll be another day, another week, right? So hey,
like to do some work with you sometime, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah, man, no problem. Just I think I followed you on Twitter the other day. So
cool.
Anybody can find me at C-Walt the Realist on Twitter. And I might be sneaking out a reaction video to this Clemson game on my channel, 4th and Goal. So I may be dropping something a little earlier than I anticipated, but
that's good.
We'll see.
That's good. Y'all make sure to check them out. 4th and Goal with Seawall. Like I say, you'll be making some appearances here, man. We appreciate you coming in. We'll holler at you later, my man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Be safe. Coach, man.
Yeah.
You kind of hit something on the head the other night, man. And I'll be telling people this too, man. It's like, you have these runs, man. It's between, 6 and 8 years, 6 and 9 years. And after that point, man, you got to really start, if you start seeing cracks, you just got to understand it's time for somebody else to do their thing.
That's just that's the nature of sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this, man. Like, Boston's always been good at basketball, but the guy, he had to run where they won like 11, and they've always been good, but they wasn't winning championships at that clip. Then the Lakers had a run. Then they gave it up for a while, came back. They had, what I'm saying? Chicago had a run. Detroit had a run, came back, had a run. It's like you going to go through time periods. What you hope is when you not on your run, you don't look like you're not like 6 and 6 all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you hope your time not in the sun is more like 8 and 4 every year, 9 and 3, 8 and 4.
You want to always at least try to be in the conversation. So yeah, that's what it is, man. So my guy Mars say, "See-Walt, look, hey man, see, it's tough, bro. Listen, not for nothing, dog. When you win 10 games every single regular season, not just like now last year they did need
bro.
Last season they did need the bowl game to get to 10 wins, but they've had 9, I think it is, straight seasons with 10 wins.
Yeah,
like Shawty say, man, all the time, man, you get used to that sandwich and you want more. So
it's hard to go back, man.
But it's hard. Like I'm telling you right now, win or lose the championship this year, I don't expect not to be in the hunt the next 2 to 4 years for Georgia. And if we not in the hunt, that's gonna be rough, bro. That's gonna be rough because Me and Charlotte was at school at the same time, dog. Hey, he was playing, I was rooting, but we didn't have a lot of good years. Not like this. Not like this.
Well, and I mean,
Nobody had it like this.
You start thinking about how OU was over that period. I mean, and like I said, there was a lot of things that kind of conspired to make that work out. You know, Texas being irrelevant, being part of that, but the conference was getting smaller, and you ended up with kind of half-assed conference that made them look a lot better than they were. But this is what has changed. I mean, now he gets out there and hey, look, I believe that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the country, but I also know that it ain't by much.
Right.
Well, it's starting to be that way, right? And it's because of those habits
at the start of the season. Yeah. And I mean, you think about it, you look at him, you look at Shedeur, they're similar. You look at him and you look at you can look at a lot of the guys in that league. I mean, they were really, really good. But we've talked about all of them at some point of this season, I mean, even the bad ones that haven't looked bad.
Yeah.
The bad teams, I mean, they've got a good quarterback at Arizona. They got a good one coming up at Arizona State. Cal seems to have a decent quarterback. They put up 40 on freaking they put up 40 on Oregon State. So look, when you were going to go into, and you could see it coming when they didn't have to play those other two teams, like I talked about, that were the top two teams in the conference that didn't get into that championship game. And then if you can't beat Utah without Cam Rising, what the hell?
Speaking of Stat Guy and I want to say it was Mars or somebody, Steve B or somebody just said they just announced that Cam Rising is out for the rest of the year. I think somebody said go ahead and pencil them in the championship next year because Steve G said they're gonna go next season and get that Big 12. Hey,
I mean, they come in they come in the deepest and most disciplined, hard-nosed defense.
Yes,
team.
I've always liked Coach Whittingham.
I think he's one of the best three in the country, man.
Because he knows it's about the trenches, which we saw tonight again, even without a good quarterback, or I would say the elite quarterback. I ain't gonna say the guy ain't good, but without an elite quarterback, dog, we watched this guy basically out physical them for the third time since Lincoln Riley got there. But I was getting to Mars coming, and I was going to say this too about the Clemson people. When you get used to something, as much as you guys don't like Lincoln Riley, you still got used to winning at a high clip. It was a bad.
Look, there were a lot of people that changed their mind real quick. We shouldn't have let him get out of here.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It was a lot of people, a lot of OU fans that I talked to was not happy about the 6 and 7, even though it was Brentford.
That's why it felt so bad.
That's why it felt bad. It wasn't that you didn't believe in Venables. You just like. Sometimes when you used to winning, like I'm gonna be honest with you,
there were people wanted him gone, man. There were people that wanted him gone.
I told Sheldon them this the same thing, man. Listen, we all knew Mark Richt couldn't get over the hump. His last year, he won 10. He was a good 10-win guy. That first year on 8-5 under Kirby, that was rough, bro. We lost to Vandy Tech, bruh. That was rough. So I was like, we got to get it together. Luckily, we got together the next year, just like OU seems to have it together this year. But as a fan, man, when you start winning, like Shawty always say, you want more. You want more. More. You want more. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. So, and I mean, the one thing that Texas has over Oklahoma is that they've won the last national championship between the two schools. I mean, it's separated by 4 freaking years. It doesn't matter, but it does to an Oklahoma fan, because that's the one thing you got on them, other than the overall record, which they got the bulk of the difference there was back when the freaking football was the size of a medicine ball. So a little different thing. No face masks and no helmets for that matter.
Stats say Dabo threw Cade under the bus, said the final play was a run. He tried to do too much. So this is the second time Cade has pulled the ball on the RPO or the run or the read option, and he's supposed to actually hand it off. But
crazy, right?
Hey, they got to get it there.
I don't remember the bus like that, and he did that a lot with DJU last year, man.
Yeah. So Steve G said we talk about the Washington game. So right now it's at halftime. I think Arizona State's up, right?
7-3.
Yeah, so right before we get out of here, hey, listen, man, this kind of goes to what we were talking about, man. Like, hey, ain't no team out there that had struggled. Now, this is going to tell us how good Washington is. OU struggled, came back, not came back, but held on to win. Texas struggled, held on to win. Georgia hasn't looked the best, but we still getting them dubs. You know what I'm saying? OU, Ohio State, they've struggled some, still won. At the end of the day, you got to get that dub, dog. So Washington right now, if you want to be considered one of those elite, like I've said, a lot of times, hey, this builds adversity, and you got to be able to come through it. So that's what we got, man. Y'all want to
We were just talking about them being, well, at least I was talking about them being the best offense in the country. They ain't.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know. I've been saying that. I've been saying it too, and it is what it is. They got to get it over. Arizona State ain't the best, and I think Cody said it earlier today when we was talking about OU and Texas. He said like a lot of teams struggle today that was supposed to be so-called favorites. You know what I'm saying? Especially like in some cases, double-digit favorites. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of games on the pick 'em that I looked at. The double-digit favorite didn't work out, and if you took them, you was hurting today.
Yeah.
That's why as much as we want to talk bad about Michigan, I know they ain't played nobody.
They
pretty much beat everybody.
Did Michigan State even score? Did they even score?
49-0. 49-0.
Jesus. And that's another thing. They haven't been good opponents, but they've been conference opponents though.
Did you see that Iowa just lost? They had that. It looked like the Hail Mary connected, and then they called it back.
Minnesota.
No, they were 6-1 too. They listen, man. All these one-loss teams is making it hard for your boy to do the rankings next week. I got to start including a whole bunch of two-loss teams, dog. Dang. But hey, man, I done held y'all long enough, man. We're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all jumping on, man. Y'all got any parting words before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say thanks a lot again for having me on. I've made a place here on the Saturday Night Snap Count, man. Everybody who's in here on my channel, make sure you get over to Fanatic Sports and subscribe there too, man. And because we're gonna continue doing a lot of work together. There's a lot of stuff to do. We're obviously gonna have Coach on for his rankings here next week coming up. Tuesday night, as usual, 8:30 Eastern time. We have our live show, and probably have these two guys kind of pop in after they get done with Respect the Hedges as well. So, hey, thanks a lot, guys, for having me on as usual, man.
No problem. D'Angelo, okay, we appreciate you, man. Hey, man, that's what we trying to do it, man. Kim says, that's right. We're going to have Jason will be on weekly as the kind of guest person for the weekly rankings, man. But y'all can catch us Tuesday at Respect the Hedges. Me and Shaw to be back at it. We had a bye week. The Dogs had a bye week, but it is Florida Hate Week. Gator haters in the building starting to right now. So, Shawty, that's right. Shawty, tell them where they can find you at, my man.
Yeah, man, y'all can catch me on YouTube every Wednesday night at 9:30. It's my damn opinion. Hey, man, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, and I got one too. Catch me Wednesday night at 9:30.
That's right, man. And Shawty talks about more than just college football. He talks about some off the field stuff. He talks about just some current events and some polarizing topics sometimes. So, make sure you got your big boy pants on.
When he was talking about Will and Jada, man, damn it, I wish I was on the live.
Make sure you got your big boy pants on when you go watch that, man. And as always, like I say, Respect the Hedges live at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, if you are a basketball fan, man, check out our channel, Chucking Buckets on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And then we'll give our rankings right before Shawty comes on. We give our college football top 25 on Wednesday live at 9 p.m. And then y'all know about the Saturday Night Snap Count, man. So for all my people in the comments, the Hall of Fame Mafia, the Fan Addict people, all the new people, we appreciate everything y'all do for us. This is why we get on here, try to give y'all this good content. And
shout out to Bucky's.
Shout out to Bucky's. We trying to get them. Listen, man, we got 3 channels here, man. We all trying to get that Bucky's sponsorship. So
we want some Bucky's. We love Bucky's.
We love Bucky's. Hey, if you pass a Bucky's stop, they got everything. Listen, I went for the first time last week. Listen, I went for the first time last weekend, and they got everything you might want, man. It's like Walmart and QT made a store together, dog. Yeah. That's right, man. So, hey, shout out to everybody, man. We appreciate it. This has been the Saturday Night Snap Count, and we are up out of here.
Go.